So you've just bought a brand new Mercedes-Benz and you might be wondering, can I use the inbuilt camera as a dash cam? Well, it does depend. So I'm going to try and cover as many points as I can in this video today, but my car can. And I thought I'd buy it on the Mercedes-Me store. So I have done just that. I've bought it with my own money. So in this video, we're going to check it out and actually see why I'd recommend one, and also a few points of why you might want to consider a third-party dash cam instead as well. We've got loads of tech specs to go through. Let's check it out. So back a few years ago, Mercedes-Benz actually introduced a thing called Augmented Reality, and this is kind of back in summer of 2018, where it utilised a camera on the very front of the car and enhanced blue arrows onto your sat-nav that looks a bit like this. Pretty cool, right? However, several years later, Mercedes-Benz then introduced a thing on the Mercedes-Me store called Dashcam, where it can optionally turn this kind of augmented reality camera into a dashcam, for a fee of course. Now, I did actually cover this a year or two ago, and it actually to date has got over 250,000 views, so thanks guys. But what I wanted to do now is actually cover it on the latest multimedia system on this car here, and actually see if there's any changes. So yes, as I said, I've bought it for my own car, but I just wanted to very quickly cover how you can buy it for your car, as long as it's compatible. Of course, you'll need your car linked to your Mercedes-Me account. Now, I know this will vary as always around the world, so if you're not sure, double check with Mercedes and they can of course let you know. But yes, you'll need it linked to your Mercedes-Me account, and what you need to do then is head over to the Mercedes-Me store, and if you can see this, then you know you can buy it for your car. However, of course, as always, sometimes it is standard on some cars, so you don't actually need to buy it as an extra. It might already be included from the factory. Now guys, make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you want to see more content like this. I cover lots of stuff on Mercedes, and most recently BMW and Volkswagen as well, and there's also some more things lined up in 2024 as well. Anyway, back to the video. Right, quickly jump inside before it starts absolutely raining loads, because it always rains when I do the videos. Anyway, so dashcam. Now, yes, you can go on the Mercedes-Me store and check compatibility that way. You can also check a few extra ways. So basically, you will need a multimedia system called MBUX. I'm pretty sure, and safe to say, this is pretty much any multimedia system in Mercedes that is a touchscreen. Another key giveaway is if you have the Hey Mercedes voice assistant, so that is this one.
How may I help you?
And the final thing you'll need on the actual car is a thing called Augmented Reality. Now, just having MBUX does not mean you're going to get Augmented Reality. It is a spec option. You either need to select it when building a car from new or used ones. Just make sure it's got a thing called Augmented Reality. Years ago, it was called like Advanced Navigation Package or something like that. Now, the final thing you will need is a memory stick. So I have one here. Not only is it SanDisk, which is, you know, a pretty good make as it is, it has USB-C on one end and USB on another, which means obviously in a car with MBUX, you need to use the USB-C end, so that's a really thin one like that. But then if you want to import that footage, just spin it around and then you got USB like that. Now don't worry, you don't need to go out and buy a brand new memory stick for this. If you have one already, you could just make use of a dongle. And that dongle, funnily enough, I have somewhere in my pocket. I don't know what I've done with it. Oh, it's in here. There it is. Little dongle. I don't actually use many of these now because a lot of things have gone over to USB-C. Yes, this is a USB-C dongle, so make use of that if you've already got a memory stick. You can plug the memory stick literally straight in the end and then USB-C that end. But for this example today, I'm just going to use that USB-C and USB memory stick. So yeah, literally plug it in to one of the ports. I'm going to put it in that one. And now we can run through some of the more tech specs on the dashcam on screen. So for starts, it literally uses the augmented reality camera literally just here, and on my car it's a 1080p camera. Now on some older cars it is 720p, so obviously factor this in before you buy it, but the footage kind of looks a bit like this. It's okay, it will certainly show you everything very clearly on the road in front of you. It shows you the stats at the very bottom, which are hard encoded on, which means you can't get rid of them. These are the date, time, speed and degrees of latitude and longitude, and a compass heading. In terms of the quality of the camera, I'd say it is actually pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like amazing to read number plates from far, far away. Obviously that's where a third-party solution will come in, but this is actual footage from my own car, which is a little bit weird because I can't actually see myself, so I don't know if I'm in frame, but I mean, I'm standing literally like less than a meter away from the front bumper. If I stand at the bumper, this is it here, so hopefully you can kind of still see me. Obviously the field of view should stretch all the way over there and over there, so you should be able to see everything really, really clearly. The only thing that I would say about this setup is a few pointers which I'd like to cover now. Well, I think I timed that perfectly because it's now actually raining. So we'll be able to check out the dash cam, you know, in a minute on the road in the rain. So the most important things you guys need to know is that there are two MBUX multimedia systems. Now you can't upgrade or downgrade between them. They are kind of built on the car. Any newer car that comes out now is probably going to have the newer one. These are generations of multimedia systems, so new hardware and things like that on facelifts and that sort of thing. But there are a few key differences from what I remember when I was watching my previous dashcam video back on NTG6 and NTG7. So the way to tell the difference between these two, and this kind of I think applies to virtually every Mercedes-Benz out there, whenever you use the Hey Mercedes voice assistant, have a look at the kind of animations where it comes up at the top. If you have wavy lines, then that's NTG6. However, if you have the stars, a bit like this one, then this is NTG7. So there's a few differences between these two systems when you use the dashcam. Now, number one, first and foremost, do you remember all that hard-coded kind of stuff along the bottom, all the stats? On MBUX NTG6, it's in kilometers an hour, and no, I have not found a way to convert that to miles an hour. I remember loads of you asking me. I presume that was just something that was selected or programmed at factory when the cars were new or something like that. But no, it is kilometers only, so the only way to convert that to miles is literally just pop it into Google or ask a voice assistant on the phone, then you know what speed it was. At least the speed is on there, so you know, in case you needed to prove you weren't speeding, then it's on there anyway. The next one, of course, this being NTG7, the new multimedia system, it actually starts up a lot faster. So previously there was a bit of a delay. You had to turn the car on and, you know, press the start system button, and you can literally wait up to 20-30 seconds to actually, you know, before you can hit record. So this one starts a lot quicker, and I should also add as well, tapping this little dash cam button here is like a shortcut to get to it on NTG7. So the newer version of multimedia system, the new generation should I say, there is a dedicated record button here, so it's a lot easier and faster to actually get the dash cam going in the first place on NTG7. Now the other thing, and this obviously is a very important one, it is still a manual start. So you yourself sat in the driver's seat have to get in the car, turn the car on, and you have to manually turn the dash cam on as well. It will not automatically record. Now I don't believe this is a Mercedes thing, I believe this to be a law and regulation thing. Having a look online and doing some research, I found that other manufacturers are also in this boat as well, where you have to manually start it each time. And you might be thinking, well, hang on, Nick, you've literally got the third-party dashcam up there, and then there's a dashcam literally centimetres away from it. Why can the one in the car not auto-start, whereas the third-party add-on can? And I think it's something to do with on-board recording equipment, as opposed to off-board recording. That's what I've found online anyway. I don't know why, hopefully it'll change in the future, but it's a step in the right direction anyway for certainly an in-house or inbuilt thing, and certainly for the neatest setup possible, it's brilliant. Because I mean, arguably actually on the outside you might not even know there's a dash cam in here if you're just using the inbuilt one. The other final thing to note as well is of course the differences between NTG6 and NTG7. So I noticed on NTG6 when I tried to play back the footage, you couldn't play it back using the multimedia system just because only certain cars are able to play back video because of the processors and that sort of thing. NTG7, the new one, does allow you to play back video, which you just saw a few moments ago, so that's pretty good. And when you take footage off the previous multimedia system, you did have to convert it if you didn't have a codec. This does just seem to kind of play back like instantly on almost every computer, but I'll leave a link in the description down below just in case you want to convert it to something else. So guys, should you buy the dashcam from the Mercedes-Me store? Well, I guess it comes down to a couple of things. Number one, and arguably I think is the most important thing, are you happy to do a manual start every time you get in the car? And also, will you remember? Now, obviously, if you do it enough, then I guess you probably would get used to it. But yeah, are you happy to do a manual start? And for a kind of compromise, with it being built in, would you be happy to do that? If so, then yeah, go for the dash cam in the car. And then huge, massive perk is that there's no need for any of this kind of windscreen suction mounts and worrying about where you're going to get the power from, you know, fuse box and 12-volt sockets and USB-C ports and all that sort of thing. You can literally just plug it in, the memory stick, and then you're good to go. So yeah, I think it comes down to whether you want to do that manual start or not. And again, I think it's down to laws and regulations over anything else. Now, another thing as well is if you just want the dashcam to record, you know, did you want any like features where if someone hits the car when you parked for it to start auto recording? Of course, the onboard recording equipment, you know, in this particular car won't do that. So that kind of stems down to third-party stuff, which I'm hoping to cover in the future. But yeah, so if you're wanting like extra features like automatic recording, you know, when you get in, or auto recording if someone hits the car, better image quality that records in 4K with the image stabilization, all that kind of stuff, hope to cover that in the future, but obviously that's not present on the onboard one. It's purely just a nice simple image that looks like this, and here's a really good shot of it with the rain, because it's yeah, it's not great out at the moment. Another thing as well, there isn't like a save button, so if you're driving around and then this happens, for example, yeah, you can't save that clip, so you have to find the clip, and then, you know, out of however long you've had the dash cam on for, you'll have to go find that clip. So obviously that's something to factor in as well. But yeah, I'm not saying anything like negative about the inbuilt dash cam. It's really good for the kind of, you know, just hitting record and away you go. I just wish it had auto start, but again, it's down to laws and regulations, because other manufacturers have the same issues as well. But guys, hopefully you found that video interesting. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and of course, I hopefully will be covering third-party dash cams in the future as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys will find that interesting. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Until next week, see you then.